Hello, Amber. Hi, Corey. Hi, Christina. Hi, Alex. Hi, Rach.
Hello.
I don't know who East Central Region is, but. Hi, Chris. Hello, Lindsey. Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Jack. Hi, Brad. Hi, Violet. Hi, Barbara. Hello, Laura. Jack, I've never seen you in glasses. You look so sophisticated.
Hey.
Hey, Casey. Hi, Shannon.
Those are his cheaters.
They're big
Hi, Shauna.
I'm going to close the door. I'm in my meeting. I'm closing the door. I'm in my meeting.
Someone's closing the door. You got it.
Sorry, I didn't know we weren't muted.
Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, I am going to mute everybody here and just get started because there is so much goodness to cover. Hey, you guys, I know everybody's so used to me like doing announcements and a little bit of training before a guest speaker, and I've been reversing it to capitalize on their time and not have them sit around. So will you guys all just tag one person, just upline, downline, crossline, just be like, get on the call. You don't want to miss this, so that everyone doesn't join in 5 minutes and miss it. And I'm going to mute and I'm going to introduce our amazing guest speaker. All right, you all, thank you so much for popping on for our Monday night. I still want to say Tuesday, our Monday night team calls. We just started week 6 of the 90-day action plan, and I will tell you, I am fired up. I was just talking to a good friend of mine's son, Tyler Walters, that's Cindy Walters' son, about what's happening in Colorado. And I was talking to a girlfriend who's in California, and I just feel that like Isagenix had such a shift at Celebration, and between the new products and us just coming together of like what makes us so dynamic and so special. I just am absolutely in love with this 90-day action plan. It feels so different than some of the other ones. So we are not even at the halfway mark. Watch all of the contests that I'm still doing weekly. You know, stay committed to your goals. Just stay committed to the course, because it is absolutely amazing what can happen in 12 weeks. So I want to tell you a little bit of like how I know Lindsay, and then I'm going to read you her bio, because there's no way I'm skipping this because it is impressive, and you guys have to realize who you have the privilege and honor of learning from tonight. But when I think of Lindsay, like I just think of joy. Like she is just someone that loves on people. She is so open about how she, number one, didn't have a network marketing experience, didn't really even want to use the products at first, but has just been pouring into people, crossline, downline, upline for the last few years, and has risen to the top of this company in literally a handful of months. When I think about it, Lindsay is what I like to call an Isagenix cousin to me. So like our upline is the same when we go up to Janny and Betsy and Cindy, but she's crossline to us. She's under Trudy Maples. And not that that stuff matters, but it's just fun to see how we all learn, we all grow, how we've all been able to create, you know, a culture of executives together and just really support and share so everyone can be successful with these different backgrounds. So let me tell you about Lindsey, you guys. She started in May of 2015. And she was a scared cleanser. So she didn't even want to try the products. But when she finally did and followed the system, like could not shut up about it because she had such a wicked transformation. And I'll let her kind of share her story to you. But she ran to those director and executive bonuses and then really just launched her absolutely incredible Isogenic millionaire business. She used to have a brick and mortar business. She owned a pizza store with her husband. She has 5 kids and is an advocate that building your Isogenics business when you're a busy mom is your why and not your excuse. And let alone all of that, this woman won President's Quest. She was number 1 in 2017. Number 1 leader in action in 2017. Number 2 leader in action in 2018. She won the cruise ship challenge in 2018. She was Women of Isogenics, also recognized as growth leader. 2019 Women of Isogenics, 2019 consistent leader in action nominee. She is a 9-star platinum, 8-star crystal executive and total gem to this company. So Lindsey, if you can unmute and just say hi. And you guys, we're going to do a total interview style and just keep it really comfortable. But I want to just start with you sharing your story. Like outside of the fact that you are a scared cleanser, which I didn't know till I got your bio, like just how did Isogenics come into your life? What did that look like in the first couple months? Why did you make the switch? What did you really do in the very beginning? And just know that I'm giving you like time here. It doesn't have to be your 30-second story. Like let them connect with you and actually like learn about your journey.
I would love that. Thank you so much for asking me. You know, Lauren is such a rock star, and I don't know, it just never gets old when people ask you to share, because I truly believe that anyone can do this. Like I really, truly believe anyone can do this. It's in my heart of heart, my core of cores. I really just think this is for anyone who really wants it. And so I'm always honored. I don't feel that special. I don't feel like a unicorn. I just feel like I really wanted it. And so you can totally make it happen. I started Isogenics in 2015. I'm actually not enrolled at Trudy, but I'm on her team. I'm on someone's inside leg who Trudy enrolled. And so you guys, I'm on the inside leg, y'all, like it can happen. And, you know, no one was really building strongly above me. So when I started, I really was just starting the products as, like I'm that person who like buys stuff for my friends because I like to support my friends. Like I wasn't like, wow, that product's life-changing and I want to try it. I was like, oh, you've got something great, because I was a mom to 5 kids. I had my last child at the age of 40. I was 41, almost 42 at the time. And I had 75 pounds to lose from having my last child at the age of 40. I had already lost 30 pounds, but it took me a year and a half. And to say I was discouraged was like complete understatement. I hadn't lost weight in 6 months. So I guess I lost 30 pounds in a year, I guess. But like, that's less than a pound a week, you guys. It's so dreadfully, painfully slow. And I was willing to try anything. I was like, you got something? Sure, I'll try it. You got something? You got that crazy wrap thing? I'll try it. Like I literally tried everything. So I just decided to give it a shot, and she looked like she was getting results. So I was excited for her. And I bought a 9-day. You guys bought a 9-day. Bought a 9-day with some greens and ionics, and that was it. I have 5 kids. We were extremely paycheck to paycheck. It was May, and I actually didn't even touch the products for 2 months. They sat in my closet, and I was too freaked out to cleanse. And so they just sat there. And then the smartest thing she did, there was 2 really smart things that my sponsor did. She put me in a product page where people were talking about the Isogenics product and their personal experience. And she also put me in a business page, and she put me in Tanya Kirkpatrick's business page, because Trudy and my sponsor had literally only started like 3-4 months ahead of me. So it's not like they really knew what they were doing at that time. You know, people are like, oh my gosh, you're on Trudy's team. Yeah, when I started, like, we just all had our hair on fire, and we were just doing the best we could. So I saw that people were having results with these cleanse. And I was like, well, I guess I should probably try to do a cleanse. It freaks me out. I'm a mom of 5 kids. I'll probably kill someone if I try to not eat for the day. But I finally just did it. And I had incredible results. I lost 10 pounds in a couple of weeks. I had some other just really life-changing results with inflammation that, of course, we don't promise to diagnose, heal, treat, or cure. But look, I had 8 years of problems that were, for all intents and purposes, seemingly gone for in a short period of time. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And I actually started really looking into the ingredients, because I do have a son with high functioning autism. He's 16 now, but when he was 2, I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours dedicated to learning about toxins, to learning about detoxifying the body, to learning about nutrients, to learning about what the body needs. The crazy thing is like, I just never applied any of that to myself. I mean, I didn't have any problems. So I never really thought about eliminating gluten from my diet. I didn't have a gluten problem. I didn't have a gluten allergy. I never thought of, doing crazy supplements and all that. But when I started to look at the product labels, when I started to look at the ingredients, when I started to study the science of cleansing, because I really was curious how I lost so much weight in such a short period of time, I started to realize that this is really just a genius system. And it didn't take me long, because I had some background in nutrition and wellness. Not a ton, but enough to figure out that it made a whole heck of a lot of sense, that I was pretty much dumb for not figuring that out in the first place, and that, I needed to put it in my body and continuously. Plus, it didn't hurt that I took Ionics and was finally a nice mom again. Like Ionics was really the product where I was like, I'm really not going to ever stop taking that. So I might as well tell people about it, and that was really, 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 really my first decision that I made with Isogenics. I was like, A, I'm never going to stop taking Ionics. B, I might as well tell people, because if I place another order, my husband might kill me. And I totally charged my box on a credit card that he never sees or looks at. It was totally incognito. And I just knew that if boxes kept showing up at the door, he was going to say something about it. He's going to be like, where are you buying all these products? How much is it costing? We don't have the money for that. And I just decided I was going to get my products paid for. Thank you, honey. So I started sharing, because I was in a business page, and recognition and paychecks were rolling by. And like, so-and-so made $3,000 in the bonus pool this week. And I was like, $3,000? Like, what is this? How are people making this much money? I was like, I want to make $3,000. Sure, why not? And so I really started to look at the compensation plan and tried to figure it out. And again, honestly, like, Tanya was my 4 PET. I would ask a question to my sponsor or Trudy, and they would literally say, I don't know. Good luck figuring it out. Why don't you Google it? So I seriously did not have anyone holding my hand or telling me what to do. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if we inhibit people by helping them too much, because I just had to go figure it out. Like, I didn't have a lot of help or support. I knew that you could make money. I knew that I wanted to make money. And so I knew that I needed money. That I knew. Very paycheck to paycheck. I maybe had a $200 swing in my budget, for the month, every month. And that's just not enough when you have 5 kids and people break their arms, for reals. It's just not enough. I've had a lot of broken arms with my kids. So that was it. That's like pretty much it. The rest is kind of history. I mean, I can tell you how I got to where I got, but tell me if you have a question.
I will. We'll go back and forth. And I love that. And I'm like typing in the chat, and I encourage you guys to like participate in here a little bit. But I know who your sponsor is. I know the story, but I did not know that you only joined a couple months after Trudy. And I hear she is saying GTS, which I appreciate. And I love it. But the independence that came from that, because I'm like totally captain enabler. Like, actually say the answer sometimes, and I'm like, oh, you should find it here after I've given them the answer. So I really appreciate that. I do actually want you to talk a little bit more of like, okay, I can share my products, like getting my products paid for, to like, you made this shift. Like, there was a period that I remember, like every leadership call, like every event, it was like Lindsey Wynia, Trudy Maples, Lindsey Wynia, Lindsey Wynia, Lindsey. And I was like, who is this girl? And like, where did she come from? And like what that was like, because it was fast. It was really fast. And specifically there's some people that are like, I'm too busy, right? Like you must have been so busy, and what that was like, and if you could do it all over based on the lifestyle you have now, kind of like what the shift was like, and what did that look like during that period of just like hot mess momentum?
Yeah. Look, I mean, it was totally ugly and totally messy. I can tell you one thing, I've not watched TV in 4 years. So you're joking yourself if you want to build an epic business and like also watch 10 hours of TV a week. It's not going to happen. You know, I needed money more than I needed anything else. And so, you know, it like need trumped anything else. Need. And what happened really was that I had actually been very vocal about my weight loss journey since having Charlie, who's my youngest, who's now 6. I was struggling, really, really struggling. And I've always been fairly transparent on social media. And I was like, you know, complaining and whining about how I was struggling. And I would post pictures, even before Isogenics, you guys, I would post pictures of how I was doing in my progress. And so that wasn't like something I had to get over. So I do think that that contributed to my fast success. I didn't have to spend time like being like, I don't know if I want to post. I don't know if I want to share this, because I was already sharing this. And so, you know, when I decided to actually try my box, because it did sit in my closet from May to August, or May to the middle of June, I guess, or July. So I decided to try it because I was going on a cruise. Like I'm that typical person who's like, gotta lose 10 pounds before my cruise, you know? And I got it out of the closet and tried it on, tried the product. And I was like, whoa, I've never lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Like this is insanity. And of course it was like, a lot of it was due to major inflammation in my body, which is also why I had a ton of chronic pain. But, you know, I didn't know that. You don't know what you don't know. And I just had a serious need for money. So when I started sharing, you know, when I told my sponsor I wanted to get my products paid for, I said, you know, look, I need to make some money at this because I really want to keep using Ionics, but I feel like my husband will freak out if I order another box. He doesn't even know I ordered the first box. I mean, I'm sure he sees it sitting here, but you know, I don't want to draw any attention to it. I said, so just tell me how I do this. And she said, well, put a post up. So I did. And I actually put a post up before I left to go on the cruise. And when I got back, like my voicemail was full. People were calling me. Now, a lot of people were like, well, how many friends on Facebook did you have? And I had about 700, but I already used Facebook a lot. So again, if you're like a person who's like never used Facebook and all of a sudden you're trying to use Facebook to market a business, it's going to be harder for you, honestly. But I already used Facebook a lot. I was already doing the Facebook marketing for my husband's and my pizza shop in Temecula. And so there was a lot of people who knew me on social media already. They just knew who I was. So I kind of had a social media presence, but not that big. I mean, 700 people isn't like a social media presence. You know, it's not like I had major followers for my pizza store. I didn't, but just people had just been watching my journey. I think that's the main thing. And that's one of the things I tell people who really want a business is don't wait till you've lost 100 pounds and then post your transformation. People will be like, what the crap? Did she have weight loss surgery? Like what really happened? Show them the entire journey. And I actually had what I call like belly shots of my stomach, which was very distended. It's where I carried all my extra weight. And I posted 60 days, 90 days, and 120 days. And they were very transparent, very raw and real. And, you know, I think people just really resonated with the fact that I was so open and shared so openly about how this product was helping me. And I was showing the pictures and I was showing the reality. And people were like literally watching it happen in live time. And the first month I posted, I made like $1,500 my very first month of Isogenics. You guys have no idea how badly I needed that money. It was August, which is the biggest, most hottest month in Southern California for bills. And I didn't live on the coast. I lived in the inland, which is really super hot. And my utility bill through the month of June, July, and August was always about $600 a month in Southern California. And it freaked me out, you guys. I would have to break up that bill 3 times every single one of them. So I would call the utility company. I would say, I need to break up my utility bill into 3 payments so I can pay it. And then I would do that in June, July, and August. So I was like paying mini payments on 3 different months just so I could squeak it by. And when I got paid that $1,500, it was the first time I was able to pay the entire utility bill in one shot. And that was the one bill that just caused me massive, massive fear and dread in my life. And so when I was able to do that in one shot with just enrolling like I probably enrolled like 6 or 7 people, I was like, wow, like I really wouldn't mind doing that again. And so I did keep posting, I kept sharing, and I think I enrolled, seriously guys, I think I enrolled 10 people a month for 2.5 solid years, you know? So I was enrolling a lot of people. Now, was I the best coach? Probably not. Like at first I didn't know what I was doing. There's probably a wake of people left behind me who like didn't get great coaching and stuff like that. But I needed money, I needed cash, and I needed to do that quickly. And then I learned how to teach people how to get themselves paid. And then I just had a few key friends come along who needed money too. But that first 4 months in Isogenics, I ran to executive in 90 days. So if I was enrolling 10 people a month, I had enrolled about 35, 40 people in the first 3 months, and I ran to executives with those people. And stop kidding yourself if you think you're going to get to executive with 10 people. You're not, okay? Because not everyone's going to share Isogenics, and they're going to be in their heads, and they're not going to want to do it, and they're going to be like, I'm never posting about this, and they're just not interested in that. So you really have to look at the number of enrollments to get you to executive, and then you have to keep creating consultants. I've only fallen, and this might like make some people upset, but I've only fallen out of executive one time, and it was about 3 months after I hit executive. And you guys, I've never fallen out since then, ever. I've created like over 62 consultants, and when someone would like start to fall out when I only had 10, when someone would start out, instead of like pressuring them or badgering them or like paying in to keep them solid, I just went and found someone else because I had 40, 50, 60, 70 people to work with. I had people who I could make consultants. And so I just did that instead of chasing people around and making them do crap. I just said, fine, I don't need you. And I would go find someone else to become a consultant. And I just got people paid. And, I think I didn't create my first executive under me for a year. I think it took me a whole year to find someone. But since that time, I've created 9 other executives and countless executives on my team who I reached down and helped that I didn't get a star for. So who were like, 2 PET, 3 PET, I've even ranked it as a 4 PET executive all by myself because they were just kind of abandoned down there and they really wanted it. So I am a huge proponent of really digging into your tree. And Lauren, I really got that from you and Gianni. Just like, I was like, well, if Gianni can do it, I can do it. I can dig around in my tree and find people who want to do this. And to be honest, like, I know we talk about percentages, but I think people forget, I think people forget that it's a numbers game. And I seriously love numbers. Well, I don't love numbers. I failed all my math classes, but I am that's just the way my mind works. The only one I didn't fail is like my statistics class. So maybe that's more about this is like, this is a statistics game, I guess. And it's like number of people enrolled, as like, you're going to have like 1% club, you guys. 1% of the people are going to share. So if you enroll 10 people, one person's going to become a consultant. It's really more like 2 or 3, if I'm being honest. But like, let's say 3 out of 10 is a really solid number for becoming a consultant. So don't sit there and feel bad about yourself again if you've enrolled 10 people and you're having a hard time converting all of them. That's really important. Does that make sense?
That's so awesome. And I love that. And, I've seen people do that too. And I think your numbers are really good. And I forget who shared this with me at one of my very, very, very first events. I actually think it was Travis Garza. I'm not positive that this is like been ingrained in my head since my first ICU, but of 100 people, that it would basically take on average 100 people to go executive, that like 80 are going to be product users or something. And then it's like 10 to 15 could be consultants. You're going to have like 2 managers, 1 director and 1 executive, like statistically, and just looking at that. And if I look at my own business, I have 6 executives and, the hundreds that I've enrolled, and just like Lindsey, gone down. I mean, we have people 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PET that have gone executive because we've supported them. And the beauty, even if you don't get the, matches off of them, or your, 4 PET pools might not be the same, all BV rolls up, you guys. And it's so fulfilling to help those people. So I love that. So you actually have shifted into the next question that I have for you. I remember being on a corporate leadership call that you were highlighted on, and you were really talking about I don't remember if it was a trip you were going for or something where you tracked the amount of like consultants and managers you created. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, maybe. Keep going.
It was, I think, like last year, a year and a half ago, and you like rattled off in basically a short period of time when you were like rank advancing. There was something that you were going for, and what you did during that time period and just the momentum that was created in your team. I'd love for you to talk about that. And then also, many of you, now I get to introduce, this is the owner of the Power Hour. So when I posted in our pages and put our sheet up, and I was like, here's your Power Hour. Like Lindsey, Wynia put this sheet together. Check it off. If you only have an hour a day, I would love for you to talk simultaneously of what that looked like when you were tracking all those people. Because it's an obscene amount of like managers and consultants. Yeah. And then also how you really utilize this Power Hour in your team.
Cool. So first of all, I can't take complete ownership of the Power Hour. I have people who are teachers on my team. They love like spreadsheets and crazy crap like that. I'm not that organized, and I don't do stuff like that, like period. Like you'll never see me train with slides or PowerPoints. I hate it all. Like just, it's not my thing. I'll sit here and talk to you till my face is blue, but it's not like that stuff. So, I mean, I created like income producing activities for specified periods of time and time blocking, but the sheet was actually from someone else. And I love them because you need people like that in your life, people who do things better than you, right? So I think I was leveraging, I think what you're talking about is I was leveraging a crystal reset to really help people rank advance. And so the crystal reset's usually in January, February, March, or usually about those first 3 months. And I learned when, I didn't learn it when I went there, but a few years ago, Eric Worre came and did like a upper level leadership training. And he's like, you got to find your super enrollers. And that really lit a fire under my butt, because I realized that, look, if we can get a bunch of managers rank advanced and get them paid that crystal reset, we have a huge, huge opportunity here. So yeah, super enrollers to me, Eric Worre says they have to enroll 10 people. I say 5, because if you have someone who's enrolled 5 people or at least they have 5 active people, you can make them a manager for sure. So I really just went to work on creating like a ridiculous number of managers. I think we created 45 managers during the crystal reset. And I just had my team, I was drilling down, and I was like, I have like a director or executive leadership thread. And I said, I want you to go into your back office, click all the blue buttons to the left, and write down every single person in your entire organization who's enrolled 5 people or more. And I want you to reach out to them and ask them if they want a $250 bonus. Like literally, it was like grassroots effort, But when that bonus was on the table, I was like, let's just get as many people possible this bonus. So we had about 45 managers happen. I think we had about 30 or 35 directors, and we had about 20 executives pop on that crystal reset. It was 2 years ago. And that was like just life-changing money. And that is when my business was in massive, massive, massive momentum, like for reals. There was nothing stopping it. Did that answer your question?
So good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I love that. When we did something similar, Laura Laurie, who's a 4-star on the team, she's on this call, when they did the Crystal Consultant, like we did that. I mean, we messaged thousands of people being like, does $150 to $700 excite you? Yes or no? Like thumbs up, thumbs down. And we like dug so deep into the team because people will work for it. And that is a lot of money. And I love the vulnerability that you were sharing with your story. Again, I didn't know that about the utility bill, and that's so relatable, like so relatable. And you guys, we hear these stories from stage that, we can really help people pay a single bill. And I think we often get lost in like this vision of, I want to be a millionaire and I want to do it full time. And you forget where it's starting, or all the people we help along the way. Not everybody wants to be a 9-star platinum with Isogenics. They really don't. They don't want to host these calls. They don't want to charge everybody to events, but they would love to have their utility bill paid for. They would love to have their car paid for, a student loan bill paid for, and just remember this story. And that's why it's so fun that we get to really work together as a team and share these stories, because there's somebody in your mind, I guarantee it, you're thinking of right now going, I bet you they had a really high bill in August and I could have helped them. And think about that person when you reach out to them. So I want to ask you 2 questions. They're not related, but I'll just ask, you can chat. We don't have to go back and forth each time. But if you could have one tip, like your best tip for a newbie, or like if you could go back and tell your younger self, what you know now, what would that be? And the second question is best book that influenced you for your business.
No, Lauren, I can't answer the second one. Cause I am like a major reader. So I'll go through a few that I think are critical. There's so many things I want to say right now.
Yes, now you guys know I did not send her these questions ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I love this. They all sometimes they go, can you send it to me ahead of time? I'm like, no. Because
I like it. I like being on the spot.
that she's like, huh.
I'm thinking about, I vacillate between a couple. I mean, I think that maybe one of them would be like, quit crying about your zeros. That'd be one. Just because everyone, and I think I told you, and probably by the way I share my story, you probably realize I didn't sit around and cry about people who return their boxes. Like I just didn't. And I just looked for the next person, and I don't know who trained it, but they were like, next, like when someone returns their box or someone's not interested or someone won't cleanse, I just say next, like who's next? And I really like took that to heart big time. Like I had, one of the things you don't know is that our pizza business was struggling. I mean, clearly if we're just paycheck to paycheck, it wasn't awesome. It was super paycheck to paycheck. And our lease on our store was going to be up in a year and a half from the day I started Isogenics. And I looked at Isogenics as our escape plan from those stores. I did not want my husband to sign another lease. Leases were expensive in California. And I just didn't feel like the businesses were going the right direction. So I gave myself a year and a half to become a six-figure earner and to just make more money than him. And you guys, I did it. I did it in a year and a half. I was making, over 10 grand a month by the time that happened. And I was making more than he was pulling in as a business owner. And so we just, I needed an exit plan, and I couldn't afford to cry about anything. Like, I think that a lot of people just get trapped in like what's not happening. I couldn't afford to do that. I couldn't take time to be scared or worried or upset or whatever. I had to just keep moving forward. So I really just kept my eye on the prize and kept looking for the people who wanted it. And I didn't get bent or butthurt about the people who didn't, I was just like, keep going. And, when people some people just get so paralyzed. Like I have some twos on my team. I don't know if you guys know the Enneagram, but they're like so freaking emotional. Totally love them if they ever watch this video, but they just get super bent about the zeros. And they're like, the zeros, I'm a failure. I'm like, stop looking at the freaking zeros. If I told you right now that I make over $500,000 a year and I have 100 active people in my back office, would that be okay with you? Like, can you keep your eye on that prize? Yes, I have pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of zeros. I do. But like, if you have 100 active people who are doing this business with you, would that be okay? Just stay focused on what you can control, and you can't freaking control everybody. So you just got to do and look for the people who want to do this, and that's it. And just move on and quit getting so obsessed about the people who don't. Who cares? Some people don't want to freaking do it. Get over it. Sorry, I get really upset about that one. And then books, because it just takes people out of action, and then they're like, blah, 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 they don't know what to do. Yeah, it is mental toughness for sure. Books. I didn't really even read a personal development book until I was probably I think I read GoPro, but then I really didn't read anything for like a whole year. And then I read like, I don't know, something, Grit or something, and it was okay. But so I never really got super into reading until about 2 years into my business. So year 3, 4, and 5. Or 3 and 4, because I've been in 4 years now. My favorites that changed the most for me, this is what I'm going to tell you. I am a huge Brendon Burchard fan. I'm like an epic super fan, and I loved his high performance habits. And I think the reason why is because I had a hard time when people asked me what I was doing that was making me so successful. I really had a hard time telling you what I was doing, but when I read the book High Performance Habits, I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing. He nails out, your habits and what you focus on and, what you need to do to get there. And, some people think, well, I don't want to read that because I'm not a high performer, but like the book will make you one. Like it tells you the specific things that you need to do in order to have high performance habits and to really have success. So that's my favorite one. My other favorite one is The Big Leap by, who is it by? The Big Leap. Gay Hendricks, maybe one, maybe. I don't know if that's the author, but The Big Leap is amazing. And what I love about that one is that it really talks about limiting beliefs. And there it is. Have you read it, Lauren? Did you love it? It talks about limiting beliefs. And if you don't think you got some, you're wrong. Everyone tells themselves a story about why they can't do something. I can't do this because my parents were mean to me, or I can't do this because my life sucks, or I can't do this because my husband sucks, or whatever. Like, I don't know. But it's just a limiting belief. Like, it's really not true, and it doesn't have to hold you back. So that's one of my favorites. I really feel like it helps people. Another one of my favorites, and I just read it, if you believe in God and are religious and love the Bible, and I think Hillary Courtney said it cross stage, but it's called In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day. And holy freak, is that book amazing. It's so good. It really just talks about believing in God's plan for you, really, and just like, step aside. He's in control. So like, stop worrying so freaking much about what's happening in your life and just move forward and do the thing. And it's really powerful. And then I also love, this one is like not really read by network marketers, but I really liked it. And I think it's pretty applicable. It's called Millionaire Success Habits by Dean Graziosi. And I felt like it was like a more applicable, like a more, what's the word? Like it's more of like a storytelling version of The Big Leap. Like it's, he just talks about like how sometimes we just talk ourselves out of success, basically. And I really love that one. And there's one more I always suggest to people. Definitely Millionaire Success Habit. Well, I'm sorry, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. But if you're gonna like read a bunch in a row, read that one last, because you kind of have to have a good grip on all this other stuff to comprehend that one. I feel like there's one more.
These are awesome. These are all so good. And that book by Hillary Courtney, I remember when she posted about that, and so good if you're a faith-based person. I want to take you back for a second, because I've had a couple people message me privately. And when we were talking about the reset and you were, creating all these consultants, you were creating all these managers, I think social media has changed, right? So like 5 years ago when you posted pictures and everybody reached out to you, people are inundated with that right now. So we don't have all those natural leads, but could you share some of the verbiage that you would say to somebody now if you're reaching out to get them interested in the products, or what you were saying to create some of these consultants, to create some of the managers, just your verbiage, because it's different than mine, different than, Laura Keesa's or my sisters on this team. And we just love learning what other people say. Yeah.
What I think is working now is personal connecting, and I mean, I think we hear that a lot across the stage right now is belly to belly connecting and personal connecting. And to me, personal connecting is just making sure you're staying engaged with your audience. So one of the things that's really helping my team have success right now is connecting with the people who liked their post, or liked their Facebook story. So it's a super simple message. You just say, hey, thank you so much for liking my post. I totally appreciate all your love and support. I think you're awesome. I saw your kid, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever you want to say, but just the personal touches. And what happens is it just creates a conversation. It's not salesy. You're not going after them. It's not going for the jugular. They're just wanting, like people right now are just seeking personal connection so badly, you guys. I just took this, a group of people to a leadership retreat in Phoenix, and like, you guys, they like smothered each other with like love and compassion. And I was like, geez, are people really this starved for like just someone understanding them? And they are. Like, that's the gap. And social media has caused us to not have these personal connections with people anymore. Everything's super, super, super surface. And I'm not bagging on social media. I've used social media entirely to build my business. I'm just saying people are starved for real personal connection. And so if you're reaching out to them on an individual business, like, hey, can I send you a link to my video? Not that. I'm saying like, hey, I just want to connect with you. I just think you're a cool person. I would love to chat with you, just that kind of thing. Charlie, is my door not locked? I'm on a call. Can I help you in a minute?
Can we watch TV?
Yes. There we go. And that is how you get things done, people. Let your kids watch TV for a minute. I'll go lay the smack down on a second. But anyway, so you have to make those connections and like message people who are watching your Instagram stories, and don't be like, I saw you watching my stories, but just be like, hey, you know, like go watch their stories and go comment on what they're doing and create the personal connections that people are really craving. Because you know what? The second they feel like you care about them, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna ask you about isogenics. They really are. I swear to you, they will. But it's because people are lacking the personal connections and they are being bombarded all day long with messages or like images, you know, the side by side and join me now. And you want to make $1 million, you know, like just stop. Like, you got to make the personal connections and talk to people and be super intentional, you guys. If you haven't made a list of 100 people lately, make a list of 100 people and be crazy intentional about connecting with them, and go down the list 10 people a day and connect with each person on that list on purpose. Send them a text, ask them a lunch, do whatever you need to do. And you guys, if you're connecting with 10 people a day for 10 days, it's not going to feel weird when you're at the top of your list again and you're connecting with that person again, and you're going to consistently be connecting with people. You know, if 5 months go by and they haven't ever asked you and you've been connecting with them religiously, like, pick someone new, they're not ready, whatever. But, you know, personal connections, showing people you care, helping people understand that you're a real person, be active in your stories. I'm going to tell you, like, people love to watch stories, and what stories do is they make you a real person. They just make you a real person. Like, so many people watch my stories because Charlie's in them constantly. Like, clearly he loves the screen here. I swear he just came in here to be on camera for a second. And, you know, they want to see your kids. They want to see your life. They want to see your crazy dogs. My dogs are insane. They want to see your husband's crazy Chewbacca slippers. I got 20 messages last night about my husband's Chewbacca slippers. I mean, you just have to do things that normal people do so people know that you're real. And I'm not saying don't ever do it, but like a lot of people I see, it's just like picture frame. And they're never like, it's never like a live person on your Instagram stories. Don't do that. People will stop watching you. They want to see your crazy life and how weird you are, for reals. That's what they want to see. Reality show time. And my house is nuts, so it's super easy.
It is so true. I can't even tell you how true that is. And I laugh all the time with Ryan because I said, like, he's like a celebrity and like people hadn't even met him before Isogenics, because they're real people. I'm like, I can post the best transformation, the best paycheck. They don't care. I'm like, post a picture of him sleeping and 1,000 people like want to tell me how cute he is when he sleeps.
The same with my husband too. Like, my husband doesn't work the business with me, so like hardly anyone ever sees him, but he's in my Instagram stories a lot and people think he's hilarious. I'm like, honey, you have like a total following. People are like, can you show us Peter? I seriously will get messages like, where's Peter? And I'm like, he's around. Like, aren't you watching my stories for me? Like, we're just busy or whatever. And they like want him because he's funny and he cracks on me and he says funny things all the time. So they want to see him.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you. We're about to wrap this up and it's awesome. Now I'm going to watch your stories. I wanted you to share with us a little bit, just like the power of the 90-day game plan when like everybody's running together, especially this period. So we know like week 1 and week 2, everybody's in intention, everybody's hyped up, but this is the period people start to fizzle out. It's halfway, then it maybe meet their goals in the first 30 days. Like, how do we just, you know, keep that momentum going and keep kind of persevering and like where that transition happens? Like, talk about that, because I know you've done many with your team and you've gone through it yourself. And also if you could talk about like 1 or 2 just wall kicking moments, like things that probably could have taken you out of the game, but you were like, nope, not today. And look at the success now because you kept going.
Yeah. So I feel like the best thing to do with a 90-day game plan is really engage with a small group of people, because I'll tell you, about 90 days ago, I know we're only 30 days in the 90-day game plan, but 90 days ago, I put a group of people together who are all my 2 PET. What I saw happening is the people that I was enrolling, they weren't working their business, but the people that they were enrolling were working their business. Have you ever heard the term like the studs or the duds enroll the studs? Have you ever heard that? Maybe just Trudy. That's a Trudy thing. But like, so I was just finding like this whole crew of 2 PET who are like, me. And I was like, geez, like I can't work with all of you one-on-one, and you're not even my personally enrolled team. So I got to like maximize my time here because I'm not getting match on you guys. And I know that sounds callous, but at my level, you kind of have to be strategic about who you're helping. So I put them all in a group together and I started coaching them on the 90-day game plan. Now, I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I was, because that's just how you build this business. And I want you guys to know that, like, this is not rocket science. Quit trying to make it rocket science. It's actually very, very simple. You just have to talk to people and consistently connect with people and follow up with people. Guys, that's it. Do you want to make $1 million? Okay, cool. Why don't you just do those 3 things every single day? I swear on a holy stack of Bibles, you will make a lot of money. Do you understand? So I put them all in a group together in a Marco Polo. I introduced them to themselves. I made them tell each other their stories. I made them make a list of 100 people. I promised them that I was going to give them an assignment every day, but I told them that they weren't going to have to take more than a half hour a day to work their business. Or maybe I said an hour. I think maybe I said an hour a day to work their business. And half the time was personal development. So I made them watch trainings or listen to podcasts or do personal development stuff, because I'm a huge proponent of personal development. People get in their way far too easily. And you have to be working on yourself every day. I promise you, you'll go a lot faster if you're working on yourself every day. And I can tell Lauren does that too, because she has books that I've read and we're not even tied that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has the big leap in her library. I mean, that just means like leaders are readers. You got to do some personal development. So I make them do some personal development. I'd say things like, post your power post on Sunday night and follow up with every single person who liked and commented. And then the next day I'd be like, follow up with, 10 people from last week's power post. And then I'd be like, reach out to 10 people who are on your chicken list or who are on your list of 100 people. And then I'd say, try to schedule at least 5 calls and, whatever. And then I'd say, follow back up with someone who asked you for information, but never like ghosted you or whatever. And just like send them a voicemail and tell them how awesome you think they are and how you can't wait to connect with them. And I just gave them like daily action steps. And it was just a 90-day game plan, you guys. It wasn't anything like crazy where I'm like, have this super secret thing that I do and everyone's successful. It's not the case. Like, it's just the work. Just do the freaking work. And so, and then I just took them all to a little retreat in Phoenix last weekend. And I'm telling you what, these ladies, they're all freaks now. They're all freaks because we just poured in massive tons of like time with them. And it really wasn't tons of time on my part. Okay. I popped into a Marco Polo for like 5 seconds every day, and they literally just helped and supported each other. So one thing I do want to say is I do feel like the people who I group together in support or push groups, not over 10 people, because it gets too busy and too many people fall into the recesses and won't take accountability. It's got to be a smaller group of people. And I just really push them all together. And because one of them would do it and do it scared, the other ones would do it. And they would talk about their feelings or if they got rejected, and they would say to each other what they said to that person and work through it with each other. And I just sat back and watched the magic. Like, they were just all pushing each other and encouraging each other and cheering each other on. And they're all going to be friends for life now. And what's cool about that, even if like some of them don't build an incredible isogenics business, is they're probably going to stay here. You want to know why? Because they feel loved and they feel valued and they feel welcomed. And they, even if I'm not giving them like one-on-one tons of support every day, they've got 10 other people now who know and love them and want to support them and give them that love. And you know how it is with isogenics. We're happy to accept people anytime. And maybe today is just not their season, but maybe in a year from now, they're going to be like, you know what? I want to do what this girl did who was in my focus group a year ago. She got on it. I didn't, but now I want to do what she does because look what she's done. Does that make sense? Like, so it's fine with me. Again, we're talking percentages here. So 2 are going to take off. I know for sure. And I know who they are even. I know their names. I know what they're doing. 2 of them are going to take off. I don't know about the other ones. And I honestly don't care. So, you just got to keep finding those people who really, really want this, and then just give them the wings to fly, basically, and give them little action steps until they're confident enough to do it themselves. Does that make sense? I don't even know what question I just answered. Did I answer a question?
Yeah, and it's so good. It's awesome. This is why I love the interview styles. They're just so much better than like all the templates, and they see the PowerPoints and things they get at all the conferences. Like when I set up my guest speaker of the 90-day game plan, And everyone's like, what am I going to talk about? I'm like, I got you. Like, you know this. I know you know it. There's just like, let them, learn from you. So everything you're just saying, though, the people you're looking for and finding those people, I just want to tap on this a little bit. In the very beginning, of course, we're bringing in product users. Like, how do you even necessarily know who's going to build the business or how to even lead with the business if you're just trying to get a product transformation, unless you have a network marketing experience background and now you've just switched companies with a different product, right? Otherwise, of course, we're going to do that. But as you grow and then you get to be more intentional, like Lindsey has used that word so many times because she is, and she realizes the worth of her time, right? The value of this business. But when she goes out and she's meeting people, like she's not necessarily just trying to sell a thing of shakes. Like she's looking for people. And I talked to Janny the other day for a while on the phone, and we don't talk as much as we used to. And she said, I'm literally, when I'm recruiting right now, saying I'm looking for someone who wants to make 6 figures in 6 to 12 months. Is this something you want to do? Are you willing to put in the hard work? And if not, no worries, it's not for you. Like Janny has such a massive organization. She makes almost $2 million a year. She doesn't need a cleanse coach anymore, right? But she's put in her time. She's been with the company 11 years. She's done that. And so just remember that wherever you are and you're seeing this vision, Lindsey ran to 6 figures in a year, doing a lot of cleanse coaching, a lot of creating managers, a lot of consultants, like building those systems where now she has this huge team and she's also creating other leaders by taking herself out of it. They're stepping up, they're rising up, they're duplicating. And it's just really fun to watch. And I appreciate you sharing exactly what that looks like. So the last question, and I know every leader gets it, but we cannot emphasize this enough, especially I like asking the moms because I don't have kids. And everybody has rolled their eyes at me. Lauren, you don't get it. You're not a mom. Someday when you're a mom, you're going to get it. So I just keep asking moms, and then you guys are paving the way if I ever have children someday. But what I want you to talk about is, number one, building this business. When you have little kids, big kids, and it's like, do I miss the swim meet? Do I not miss the swim game? How do I get on the call? How do I do homework? Like just juggling the time as a mom, and also the power of events. Because there's so many people that just can't get to events, but I always look at all the top earners and I go, they're moms. Like, talk to us about that.
All right. First of all, you have to know, like, especially in the first year and a half, maybe even 2 years, it was messy. And my husband would say things like this. He'd say things like, how long are you going to do this? like this, where I was like on Zooms all night, every night, or I was having phone calls all night. I wasn't watching TV shows with him. We had like one date night a week, and that was like pretty much all the time he got. And so at first he was a little annoyed, right? When you're not bringing home over 500 grand, like now he like steps out of the way. He's not really bothering me much at all about my time commitments. But at first it's hard to juggle and balance. And I really don't believe in balance. I think that's a load of, and I just don't think it's possible for people to have balance in their lives. I just don't agree with that. You have times and seasons where you have to do things and it's not convenient, it's not comfortable, and your kids aren't going to have you show up to every match, and it is what it is. Like, just lean in and get it done, because the more you try to balance it and make it fair and even and whatever, the longer it'll take. So I guess it depends on who you're talking to. Like, if you're talking to someone who wants to sprint to 6 figures, look, you're going to miss the games, okay? And look, if you were at work, you'd be missing the games. So quit giving me that BS. It's dumb. Like, seriously. And if you think you're a bad parent because you miss some freaking games, get over yourself. Oh my gosh. Like, do you want to know how many games my parents came to? I played volleyball and basketball year in, year out, every season. My parents came to half. I didn't resent them. Like, no big deal. I didn't want them to have to sit at a boring basketball game anyway. And I hated it when my mom came because she'd make a lot of noise in the stands. So, and plus I always got technical fouls, which I didn't love them seeing that either, because I was like the queen of, I think I was the leader in technical fouls for the whole region. So, I don't know. I'm like the wrong person to ask, because really, I don't know. I'm just the wrong person to talk about that. I mean, come on, man. Do you really have to go to your kid's soccer practice? No, you don't. And okay, maybe I should explain it this way. I just have an 18-year-old. She just graduated from high school, you guys. She graduated with like a 1.5. Can you graduate with a 1.5? I don't even know if you can. She basically had an F the last week of her high school career. And I was like, hey, Abby, you really should go fix that F so you can graduate this week. Guys, I am not a micromanager of my kids. I am not going to get straight A's for her. I'm not going to do her homework for her. I'm not even going to ask her why she didn't turn in that piece of homework. If she wants to fail classes, go ahead, sweetheart. That's your life. I'm not going to take responsibility for my kids and what they want to accomplish. I'm just not. Some people are just like busting up. But you guys, I just am not going to do that. Like, it's just not me. I just don't believe in enabling our children to be incapable individuals. Like, freaking let them do it themselves. My kids make their own lunches. I've never made my kids lunches, like, ever, you guys, ever. Why do you have to make your kids lunch? You don't. Let them make it. I don't know. I'm just about making humans who can actually wipe their own butts. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna end on this note because I'm officially dying. And I love that you actually like filter that. But you guys, this is why I love this woman so much. So this is a true story. We live far. Ryan has like
hold on. I think one of the things that she's saying she has 5 kids. You know, when you have 1 or 2, maybe you can do that. You know, when you have 5, you're like, do it yourself, kid. You know, so maybe that's part of it. Sorry, I just had to interject that.
No, it's good. It's so good. But I'm not an enabler either. So like from the day I met Ryan, I always say like, what do you love about me? Like, what makes me different than everybody else you dated, right? Hands down, every time if he was here, he would say, your drive. I love how driven you are. And I'll say, how do you think I got that way? Like, I honestly didn't like come out of the womb and just like be a top achiever, right? Like you role model people, like you learn it, you see it, maybe competitive is a gene somewhere, right? But he is the same with his daughter. He wants to do everything for her, like making the lunches. I'm like, she's in 8th grade. Like at one point, does she put it on there? But so we live far and it's like a half an hour plus to get her to school. And she constantly is running late and he wants to take the toll road, right? He's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, you need to stop doing that. And I was like, where's she going to learn it? You should have seen the catastrophe this morning because we weren't going to take the toll road. And she's like, what? I'm going to be late. Uh-huh. Yeah, guess who is going to be first out of bed tomorrow morning? Like, I'm like,
what happens when you make choices and things go bad? You have to live up to it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like my daughter, like, gosh, you guys, I love her. She totally ruined her life. I'm not kidding. She did. She like got terrible grades. She didn't get into college. And guess what's happening, you guys? She went to the college town where all of her friends were going to college because she felt like she couldn't be a part of what they were doing. And you know what? She's working 2 jobs while they all go to school and play with their roommates who live on campus. And guess what, you guys? Her life sucks. And she's not very happy about it. But I wasn't going to be the one to bail her out and let her live a false sense of reality because I bailed her out of her choices that she was making. She made those choices all by herself. And you have to let them fail if they're going to fail. Like you have to. And so I mean, I try.
And it's the same with our teams, though. You guys, it's the same. If you don't want to get on team calls, if you don't want to go to events, if you don't want to have a lunch party, if you don't want to talk to people, like you're never going to make $500,000 a year, right? So, Lindsey, I love you. Thank you for your rawness, your realness. I think the last line that was my favorite is we teach people to wipe their own bleep. And I might actually call this that on my YouTube. Like I might say, we teach people how to, that would be really clever. It'll have like,
guys, I'm probably going to get hate mail from all the helicopter parents out there.
No, you're not. You are awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to unmute. Please, give Lindsey some love and thank her and Instagram story of her.
Yes.
Oh my God, Lindsey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One of my favorites.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll get the boys on TV. Good night, you guys. Bye.
Bye. Take care.